Hey everyone, it's Alan Brochstein of 420 Investor and New Cannabis Ventures. I'm here with your weekly review. I have a link to the source document that I'm using for this, and it's in the summary. But this is something I put out on Friday afternoons, and this week's was the 420 Investor Weekly Review from August 12th. That's what I'm referring to. And so I start off with what's happening in the market broadly. And this week we heard from Illinois on their medical cannabis sales. We'd already heard on their adult use. And with the medical cannabis sales included, medical cannabis sales are much smaller, but they're also in decline. And with them included, it was up 6% sequentially in July, um, but only 1.6% from a year ago. That's medical plus adult use, comparing it to a year ago. So up 6% from June to July and 1.6% from a year ago. And then at the same time, we had Michigan report, and they also, sorry, they, by the way, I have my mask on because my teeth were knocked out in mid-April before I spent 2 months in the hospital recovering. A car hit me and did damage. I was in a bike lane in Houston, didn't see it or hear it, just felt it. So that's why I'm wearing a mask, so you don't have to look at the big gap in my mouth. Um, in Michigan, their numbers were much better. They increased 12% sequentially, and it was 22%, I think, year over year to 210 million. So a bigger number, too. Bigger growth, bigger number. In Michigan's seen the price per, per ounce or per pound for flour come down a lot. And it's gotten to the point where the price there, it's not like California kind of low, but it's way lower than it used to be. Okay, this week I published and shared with my 420 investor subscribers 5 pieces. Uh, that's not all the communication, but there were 5 write-ups. One of them was financial previews for 10 focus list names. 10. That's right. That's how I spent my Sunday last week, going over 10 companies. I think I put 7 hours into that so that everybody would be prepared. And you'll hear about who those companies were in just a moment. And this weekend, I'm doing another one called 9 financial previews for 9 focus list names. And but guess what? This Tuesday is really the last day of earnings season. That's not exactly correct because some people can report up until August 29th, and many will. But for the most part, the important companies are all done. The second piece out of the 5 was a piece for my monthly newsletter, and I do 3 of these articles a month. And my first one was last weekend: why Reits are a good investment for cannabis stock investors. And I covered AFC Gamma, uh, Chicago Atlantic, I think is what it's called, uh, Innovative Industrial Properties, and New Lake. Those 4, and I shared a lot of information about them for my subscribers. And historically, I haven't really cared that much about the REITs. I've appreciated what they do, but I have not thought of them as good investments. I was wrong for a while. They went way up, and then they came way down. All right. The other 3 were from Friday a week ago, all on August 5th. A cannabis subsector review. That's a chart package where I take companies in the same subsector in similar market caps and look at the charts. And then the 4th piece was 420 investor model portfolio composition. And there I take my 2 model portfolios and compare them to the index and look at them by subsector. And then finally, this piece a week ago, Investor 420 Investor Weekly Review from August 5th. So those are the 5 things I wrote about. Okay, so I have 32 names on the focus list, and I got a bunch today. I'm going to go fast. You can read these as well if you want to. But the first one was Ascend. They opened up their 3rd New Jersey dispensary. The second one is Air. They opened up their 50th uh, Liberty Liberty Health Sciences store in Florida, and they also opened their third in adult use in Massachusetts. Uh, Columbia Care launched its first pre-rolls in New York. CEA Industries, a small company in market cap, they had 3 million of revenue, and the stock has a market cap of about 12 million. They have 20 million in cash, no debt, and so I'm not going to tell you exactly how cheap I think it is, but I will say it's cheap. And this is the company that used to be Cerna. Kronos Group, their revenue slipped a little bit, surprised people. The stock went down, but the bear market's over, as I've been saying. And it was one of the ones that went down and then rallied back later. This is a buy the dip market. The next one is Cresco. I'm sorry, Cresco. Yeah, I'm right. Cresco, and they had an announcement about their seed initiative helping people out in Illinois. All right, Curaleaf. They named the former Jushi CFO as their CFO, and they settled with Jushi to be able to do that. And they also reported on Monday. That was one of the ones I wrote about, one of the 10. And the revenue was pretty much in line with expectations, but they did better on adjusted EBITDA. They also took control of a Polish company and made an investment in Germany as well. Charlotte's Web had a big miss, and their CBD companies aren't doing very well. And no, Charlotte's Web didn't do very well. They had 18.9 million in revenue and adjusted EBITDA loss of 5.4 million. And then Goodness Growth, which is being acquired by Verano, had a strong quarter, reporting better than expected, 21.1 million in revenue. And then Green Lane fulfilled a promise and was able to borrow $15 million based on assets, and it was an asset-based loan. The stock also, that might have been the prior week. Oh no, it was this week. They also did a reverse split, and I think that was this week. And I think that stock's really cheap too. Green Lane, oh, I did Green Lane, sorry. Grogen lost its CFO, and I was really excited when Lasher, I forgot his first name, showed up, but it didn't really explain why he left, Jeff Lasher. But they replaced him with the controller, and so I'm not sure if that was bad news or good news or just no news. Hydrofarm soared after remember they had pre-announced and it tanked, and then it started to rally, and then it soared this week. When they reported, their report kind of stunk. You can see my write-up if you care, my write-up of the numbers. Jushi allowed its former CFO to go to Curaleaf, as I mentioned. Their focusless company. Lowell Farms, I should say, they reported Q2 revenue below expectations at 13.2 million and adjusted EBITDA at minus 1.1 million. And this is a stock that's been going sideways for a while and not much volume. MAPS, that's WM Technologies, the name of the company. They lowered their outlook for 2022 and they missed by a little bit, but they tanked this stock and then it rallied back. It didn't make it all the way back. There's still an open gap. Trulieve slightly missed the expectations for Q2 revenue, and it was at 320 million with EBITDA of 111 million. The problem there was they too lowered their outlook for 2022. Not a big problem though, a little problem. Tilt Holdings launched the 1906 brand in Pennsylvania. TerraSend, they were tanked, but they rallied off of the lows a lot. Their revenue in New Jersey grew substantially, yet the company missed the estimates. And Village Farms had overall cannabis revenue of $35.6 million. That's split between Canada and CBD in the U.S. And it was up 24% sequentially and 44% from a year ago, but they didn't own it all a year ago, so it's a little bit overstated. The big news on Village Farms was an ATM that they disclosed, and they had a big loss as well. All right, last is Verano, and they launched in 4 states, Arizona, Florida, Massachusetts, and Pennsylvania, Reserve and Essence Flowers, and they opened their 55th medical dispensary in Florida. Okay, so the next things to talk about the market, as you may know, at New Cannabis Ventures, we run an index called the Global Cannabis Stock Index. There's only 26 names in there right now because the volumes have come down. We use the dollar volume, and also the price is to set the members. And it was up 1.9% this week, but it was down last week, and that leaves it, I think, up 1% in August, 1%. And it's down 52.6% this year. That makes for a pretty bad year, and it's pretty hard to find worse examples. I think there's one year, but it was after a big rally. This is a decline following a decline. All right, now I want to conclude with a few comments on my model portfolios at 420 Investor. I run 3 model portfolios. The oldest is Flying High. I started that when I launched. My readers requested it of me, and I started it right after I launched in late 2013, I should say. Not early in my days, but late in 2013. And the model portfolio is up 22 times, or 23 times, I think. And 23 times. It's up 2,189%. And it has 8 positions right now. I just told you that, well, this one's not against an index, it's against cash. And it is down year to date. Much of that decline happened when I was in the hospital and I wasn't trading. But with that said, I put the trades on, I'm responsible. So this week, that one was up 7%. And it's now up 7.3% in August. That's way better than the index at 1%. Now, you might ask yourself, whoa, okay, you're doing well now, but will you do well in the future? Well, I don't know how I'll do in the future, but I can tell you that every time period on a quarterly or annual basis, I've done pretty well. And I will remind you that in July, this model portfolio was up 21.7%. So I'm way off the lows. I'm down 22% in 2022. I know there's some poetry to that, 22% in 2022. But I have 2 other model portfolios. The first one is 420 Opportunity. I created that in after the market peaked in early 14, and the market is down 98% since I created it, and it is down a lot less. Oh, it's actually up. I'd say it's down less. It's up 6%. Now, being up 6% since 2014 is nothing to get excited about, except if you're a cannabis-only model portfolio, it's great. So this week, it's up 5%. It's up 5.1% in August, again, compared to the 1% that the index is up. And it also had a good July. When the index was up 4.3%, it was up 19.3%. So almost 5 times the return of the market. And then 420 Quality was started later, and the main thing about it is it can only be names on my focus list. I can't put, like I do own one name in 420 Opportunity that's not on the focus list, not allowed in 420 Quality. There is another little difference too, but the 420 quality has historically done better than 420 opportunity, which kind of disturbs me. I launched that in 2017, and the index is down 81% since I launched it. 81%. It's up 49%. Now, I think this really proves I know what I'm doing, and it's consistent. In July, it was up 20.4% with the market up 4.3%. So that was a big gain. This month, it's up so far 4.7%. I'm sorry, 4.9%, and that's almost 5 times what the index has done, 1%. So the last thing I want to cover today is that, like I said, there's a lot of companies reporting earnings this week. Thursday or Friday are kind of light. I'm sorry, Friday's very light. There's no company scheduled. Wednesday and Thursday are kind of light. So I'll just tell you, an important company, Cresco Labs, is reporting in the morning, and Canaro Biotech, not an important company, in my opinion, reports kind of midday. Host a call anyway. And then Thursday is Air Wellness. So it's Monday and Tuesday as we hit the mid, the final date is the 15th for when they can put their 10Qs out for companies that are SEC listed or that trade on the TSX or the NEO. And so I'm going to just read these real fast so you can hear, but you can also look. On Monday morning, Agrify, Oxley, Columbia Care, CV Sciences, IM Cannabis, MetaPharm Labs, and Rubicon Organics have scheduled morning calls. Rubicon posted their information on CDAR last night, and it was a really good quarter, I would say. And then in the afternoon, Forefront, Ascend, Green Rose, Planet 13, Spring Big, the parent company, Tilt Holdings, and Urban Grow. So of those that I just called out for Monday, on my focus list, that includes Columbia Care and also Ascend, Planet 13, Tilt Holdings, and Urban Grow. So that's 5 of my 9 on Monday. Then on Tuesday, and Cresco and Aero are also on my focus list, so that's 7. And then the other 2 are on Tuesday, and it's mainly the morning. You've got Green Lane, Indiva, Intercure, Item 9 Labs, and Verano Holdings in the morning, and then Delta 9 kind of midday. And so of those, I cover from my focus list Green Lane and Verano Holdings, and that gets us to 9. So I'm going to go and start to write my reports. You have a good week, and just remember that the bear market is over, according to Alan Brochstein, but we're not in a bull market yet. And so we are seeing panicky sellers selling reported numbers. They don't understand, I think, that this is all old news. And the news is going to get better, and the market, I think, will get even better. We're up just about 5.5% from the very lows on June 30th. Take care.